its computer. What's up, everybody? This is Toad Sage. We got Toad Sage, me. We got a LigaM Mike. We're representing mentor, a mentee rather from BRT, learned under Brando and Connor. We're doing Finding My Way. It's episode 2, season 6, I think. Yeah, 6, because I was 5. I'm a 5. I was the last one. Um, Last episode, we got into rules strategy. He essentially Liam thought of a strategy, or he has one really. He's using the BRT MAs largely. We talked about structure. We talked about psychology rules, um, risk management rules, and all of that. And now this week, we're going to get into looking at his trades, seeing how they went. If he followed his rules, if he didn't follow his rules, how we're gonna edit them for this week and all that. So, go ahead, Liam, you can kick it off. What you got? I see you got a trade right here. So, how'd this one go?
So we have a whole bunch of trades here. This is actually the 15th, so we're gonna start on this is the 6th here, so this would be Monday.
Okay.
So we're gonna go into Monday. Monday was my only red day this week. And it was a pretty red day. I was kind of getting my feet wet because I was not used to trading with like rules and everything else. So let's go down to the 5 minute here. So let's make sure this is where are we here? Where's Monday?
And what are you trading on here? What you got a 50K growth from Tradeify,
Yep,
and
this
you're
is
trading on the.
Project
Uh,
X. Yeah, Project X. So it's just a trading view basically like built into their system. They give you a log. I sent you some screenshots actually earlier of the trading journal that they give you, like all the statistics and stuff. I think Tradeovate does it too. But I don't know. I just like it. I mean I subscribe to TradingView also, but at the same time, it's you can have the account and get TradingView for free, kind of. So
right.
so best of both worlds.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah.
So this was, is this the 6th? This is the 6th. So here we are, start of the day, 9:30. First trade popped off right here. It was a quick one, and I believe I got stopped out. This was right when I started talking to you about my stop loss because I think me and Semper in the last call was we were talking about like how much my profit goal was for this week. My profit goal for this week every day was $50.
Awesome.
Um, and stop loss, I believe somewhere along the lines, because I think me and you were going back and forth, was supposed to be like $25, but it was way too little, especially if I was trading like 2 or 3 contracts. It was way too little. So this one I got
Yep.
stopped out like almost immediately. It was moving fast, and I guess my thought here is that we were going to be going down further. As you can see, where I started at 113, so I started. Let's see, +2 -2. I'm sorry, I started at 123 because I was on a sell here. So I started somewhere down like the bottom of the wick here,
Yeah.
and it basically shot back up like almost right away.
I remember
Um,
this trade.
yeah.
You
So
posted this. Yeah.
yeah. So I think I posted almost every trade. I tried to post every trade I did. So basically, I got stopped out right away. So it was an immediate like 10-point loss. It was 2 contracts.
Uh-huh.
I didn't go in heavy. Confluences at this point where the 10 was crossing the 50. I believe on RSI and Mac I also had with me. So RSI had already went under
Mm.
here. I did not see any sort of convergence or anything of that nature. I'm still trying to get better at like identifying convergences on the RSI. I was trying to study it a bit like a while back on like the ESNQ convergence or the divergence thing going on. But I couldn't see a divergence here on the RSI. So I was really looking to be under the 50, um, which we were at that time, but we weren't. It was kind of lollygagging around. And then on MACD, ooh, that's not MACD.
Which are you still using? I remember we were talking and you were like, okay, I'm going to take these off for now. And
I
it looks like you had them minimized right now. So,
I minimized them for view, like just to see. Having them both up gets a little bit. I feel like I'm a
Yeah.
little cluttered. I started using them
Yeah.
because I felt like I didn't have enough confluences in my head that I was like confident with. So like with the MAs, I'm using a cross right now, and I'm not really using them for much other. Like I know like if we go under like the 666, like it's a really big like sign that we're on a sell, or over above it we're going up or bullish or bearish. So I
Mm.
didn't feel super confident using all the MAs like by themselves with like breaks of
Yeah.
structure or anything of that nature.
Okay.
So here, and my primary indicator, my primary thing that I was using for the whole week was BOS, was breaks of structure. Like I was, and you know that, like you taught me the 1 minute looking for a break of structure. So I would go to the 1 minute, look for it, and then hop over to the 5 and see like where we were at. Um, so basically, I was trying to use like a little bit of everything. Using RSI and MACD weren't too confusing or too much out there to where I couldn't look at them and say, okay, like we're crossing. This is just another confluence to add to the pot, right? It's not like
Yeah.
fibs at least, right? Fibs are a little more my like for me at least, fibs are a little more intricate, right? I feel
Okay.
like you need to know more. You need to know like where you're drawing them. You need to know like what levels or do certain things and so on, like how they interact. So I was practicing drawing fibs this week, but I wasn't using them as like a per se main confluence. So yeah, so this trade basically we were under already. This is the 5 minute chart, so we had already crossed a while back.
All right.
So I probably took this trade a little bit late, obviously,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I remember this. I remember when you posted it, I said I thought you chased. One other thing,
Yes.
you can keep your MACD. Right now it's, do you know that you can like double click, I think, on the axis and expand it, and it'll always
Ooh,
oh no, I
don't
guess
do
not
that.
that.
You can
But
do this too, but
yeah, you can make it like
it's a little
auto
funky.
fit.
It's a
You can
little
make it auto
funky on
fit
here.
somehow, but however you, was it that? Yeah, I don't know, whatever you,
This might do everything. Let me see. Oh no,
that'll
it did that.
do.
Okay. It did that. Okay.
Yeah, so that might make it easier for you. One thing, all right, so right. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not gonna say and prescribe like what indicators you should use or not. I'm not trying to change any of your strategy. I mean, you've got um it does make sense when you're talking about the confluence. I would say on this trade, yeah, is this one?
This one right here.
Yeah. Yeah, on this one, definitely I think yeah, you got hype and you chased it. Let me find my tools where
And I definitely for previous trading when I didn't have like strategy and I was just kind of trying to trade price action like off the top of my head or seat of my pants. I definitely chasing was definitely one of my things. One of my things I shouldn't do.
yeah, I
I
mean
have
it's
a I have a chase
classic.
syndrome.
It's really classic. I mean, chasing is nothing. It's everybody chases. It's something you eventually got to get out of, but everybody chases. And the tough part is sometimes chasing is in the situation the right thing to do. It's like so. Here, let me redo these. So I was doing the structure here. You got the structure, all right. You got the higher lows, you got the higher highs, right? And then sometimes, I mean. Realistically, so I'm going to give you a nugget from how I trade price action is that I'm looking at almost all the time, I'm looking at the strong 5 minute candles. Um, and I'm also definitely looking at I'm imagining a 2 bar stop. Um, and I'm imagining that I wouldn't get out until that 2 bar stop is threatened or hit.
Mhm.
And that's kind of, and I'm just talking about price action and structure and candle structure. So this might help you. Um, and honestly, if you're going to remove anything, personally, I would keep the MACD and the RSI and drop most of the MAs, in my opinion. I think
Okay.
structure will get you most of what you need, honestly. But just my opinion. We'll see how the rest of the week goes. I don't want to sit on this one forever. So anyway, then you see this 2 bar stop fail, right? And then immediately when a two personally, now I'm just kind of giving you my nuggets. Like I said, personally, immediately after 2 bar stop fails, I'm looking at the opposing 2 bar and the opposing strong bars. And this is kind of like, in my opinion, heads up to the structure. Right. So point is, I see this and I'm like, all right, we've lost some strength around here.
Hmm.
And then you got the lower high, and that kind of makes sense because here we lost this, right? And we test this strong, really strong bar, and then what do we come up to is the strong 5 minute red. And then we reject that. So that's kind of the way I'd see that. But anyway, you don't trade the open. So you're all the way over here.
I'm about an hour after, yeah,
And
hour and
then
a half.
yeah. So then what you got is this is all like heads up stuff, yada yada. The structure isn't truly broken here. This is not a true structure break. This is a lower high, but it's not a structure break. And then you have the structure break here. That's for sure a structure break, right? Like I'm
Hmm.
sure, no doubt about it, right? And then you got this lower high. Um, I mean, and I point that out. I make that painfully obvious because there are a lot of traders that say things like, I use support and resistance, but I only use the most obvious stuff. Like
Yeah.
they say stuff like, I want my dog to be able to look at the chart and see the same. So it's like, this is obviously a structure break. And then what you're looking for, and actually, I'm probably beating a dead horse because I remember I sent the picture and I said, you should fib this out
Yes.
if you're going to use structure and fibs, you should fib this out.
Yeah.
And then what do you have? You have a retrace to the golden pocket, and honestly, kind of like a lackluster, just crappy little trade, but definitely enough to take some profit and then probably get stopped out break even.
Yeah. And I think part of it
So
too is like you're saying is like I saw the original break, but I didn't take it because it was still kind of like flip-floppy.
yeah,
And
you were scared.
I saw it coming down again. That's why I came in here and then I got stopped out, which I guess it
Yep.
was good that I got stopped out so quick and I was still trying to figure out my, like stop and everything else and my R&R because this
Yeah.
is literally my first trade of the week. Like I know we had our meeting last Thursday, but
Yeah.
Friday I didn't trade Friday.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna start fresh Monday. So this was literally the first trade with like, some rules and then more of a system and not
Yep.
just buy my pants or whatever. So
Yeah. I mean, it makes
that's
sense to me. You don't have to justify anything. You in a year from now, you could be making millions. But I see actually, Semper probably would have sold right here, but I see Semper raised. What's up, Semper? Semper here? Semper at work?
Yeah, just
What's up?
if you got stopped out on that trade at the bottom, it's because there was an imbalance right before it, and that needed to be filled. You see right there to the left.
Mm,
I can't really draw. Yeah, right there where the yellow line is. There's an imbalance there, and that's the first. That's where the sequence to the downside started, right? Because it created a lower high, right?
right.
right.
And
Uh-huh.
it broke structure. But look at how it broke structure. It broke it really choppy. I mean, it broke it good at first, but then it turned into chop.
Yep.
That's yeah. Okay.
So you know that it's gonna probably pop up to that yellow line or to that green candle and that right before that big red candle to fill that imbalance. And look at right after he got stopped, it fills it and then it slows down.
Yes.
So then once it fills it, it starts doing a megaphone and then it squeezes back up. But before you enter a trade, you got to make sure that there's not an imbalance above you, or else that you get a chance of that coming back against you right away.
Okay.
And
Um,
that might be something that's hard to spot because I know I'm listening to that right now. I'm like, damn, how do I spot those imbalances in the moment while the price action is happening?
at the moment,
Yeah.
it's not that hard. All you got to do is look for a small candle. I mean, that green candle is not that small, but there's a huge red action right after it.
Yeah.
So that's what caused the imbalance is that huge red candle, and there's no price action to the right of it.
So when you say imbalance, you're talking about the Danny trades imbalance, right? A split candle
Oh,
like that.
That JFX guy.
JFX, same thing, same shit. Is it
Yeah.
just the overlap of a green and a red?
Yep. There's because on the right side of it, right where the overlap ends, on
Okay.
the right side of the red, there's no price action, so it's imbalanced,
hmm hmm
right?
That makes sense. So an example would be how this imbalance got filled before it went down.
Yep. Yep.
Um, This imbalance, not so much, but that's a doji, so I'm not worried about that. But then it eventually kind of. So that,
But
all right.
you want to find those huge candles because that's when the market accepted that price, and where the overlap is, right? So where that yellow line is, that's the accepted price.
Okay.
And if you go to the right, right at that accepted price, the bulls squeeze them out.
Yep.
That big
Yep.
green candle, yep, squeezed them
Yep.
out.
Yep.
So it squeezed them out, right? But then it created an imbalance to the upsides, and then it pulls back, fills that imbalance on the right side of the big green candle that filled the red imbalance.
Yep. All the way over here.
Yep, and then it starts to go back up
Yep.
because the imbalance to the bottom side is filled. But see where he got in, there was no imbalance. There was a small imbalance on the top side. See where there's a big red doji right where it says -2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Huge.
There was
Yeah.
a big red candle, and there's a small imbalance right there. But then it gets filled right away with that big green candle,
Yep. Yep.
and that candle is stronger than that red imbalance. You see how it's almost double the size of that red candle that caused that imbalance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that means the buyers are coming in, taking out the sellers, and then look, it continue going up.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I
So
gotta watch that GFX video again because I know I watched it once like a few weeks ago, but I gotta watch it again on imbalances because he does a really great job on
Yep.
pointing them out.
yeah, and now, once you watch that video, come back with questions, and I most likely can answer them because I've been using that method. Even though before JFX I've used Danny Trade's method, but with JFX just combined it with Danny's trades method. I came up with my own method, and it's been working pretty laser. And remember, I think I sent you a screenshot, and I said, "Hey, pay attention to this blue line, and then pay attention to this
Yep.
other blue line."
Yep.
Uh-huh.
That first line, that first line was the top of the wick of a doji of an imbalanced candle, right? And then that bottom line was the
Top.
body of the doji. So what I've been testing is okay if it hits the if the if the if the price action stays to the top blue line and it stays glued to it, doesn't break it or anything, then I'll enter there. Because I want you to be able to identify two levels of potential entry.
Oh, I see.
That's what I was gonna tell you to do, like the GP or the moving averages or whatever levels you have.
Mm-hmm.
Mark off two levels of potential. Identify two levels of potential entry, and then before you enter, review the bars to make sure there's not an imbalance. If it's an imbalance in your favor, meaning you're looking to get in to fill in that imbalance, try both of those entry levels. Most of the time, the body is the most accurate, but sometimes you won't enter because it hits the top of that wick and it'll just take off.
Okay.
So just mark off two potential entries and then look for an imbalance. Just look at price action. I know you're not really using the moving averages how we use them, but we'll get to that and we'll show you how to use them. But pretty much it's same as the fib. When it breaks through a level, you want to see that moving average retested. Because just like the fibs, price action cycles through those moving averages. It'll break above, back test it, and then go on to the next moving average. And the same thing, cycle up, cycle all the way up to the 666, and then cycle back down. And
True.
same with the fibs. It'll hit the GP, cycle up to the 261, 361, maybe 423, and then cycle back down. But you got to get used to the level breaking, retesting. That's the confirmation, right? Or break a structure, and that same structure that was broken, you want it to retest before you're even thinking of getting in. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, you got a lot of nuggets in there.
Yeah, that was
You
good.
got you got a lot of nuggets there. I think the break, the retest, the imbalance, the cycling. and 2 points of entries. I mean, that's I'm glad that I'm here right here because Semper's got 7 years of experience and a lot of his stuff can be pretty complicated. I think you got the break, the retest, the imbalance, the breaks, retests, imbalances, the fibs, the cycling. One other thing that I wanted to note that Semper was pointing out about how it gets really choppy, and we were talking before, and I really want to also get on to the next trades because this is the first one of the week, and this is probably one that you probably most tense on. So we were talking about how Semper usually trades and how he gets in three contracts. If it's going for him and he starts not feeling good, he'll just get out of it and he'll take the profit. Like he's very intuitive, watching the price action, feeling it out. Right. So one thing to talk about that intuition that might be easier is right here, this fib I was talking about, when it starts getting choppy and things start getting choppy, one intuitive thing to remember is to expect it to continue screwing people over until you get something super strong and 100%, like with strong closing full body candles. So just something to remember, because once it chops, just I don't know, just remember it kind of continues. So,
Right. Of
but
course.
okay, in a gist, it chased you. You were late to it. You could have made money on the first structure break. And that's okay. So what's up with the next one? We can go ahead
So
and move on.
we had two more. Just a quick recap for this day. I took three trades this day. I failed three trades this day. I don't know exactly what my brain was going through on Monday because the rest of the week was great, but Monday was terrible. So, second trade, and I believe up here what I was looking for came after. I don't exactly know as to why I had taken these at first. I believe the three first and foremost. This three contract trade right here was supposed to be two, and I think I said it in chat. I had taken two, and I meant to go set either a stop loss or take profit, and I added another contract on accident.
Okay.
However, we closed it out quick enough. As you can see, I lost was it
Hmm.
four points there. So basically, I think I was looking to try to catch this on the down again. I was looking for the short, in terms
Hmm.
of, or either I was looking for the short, I was looking for going up, either or. I don't remember to be honest with you on this one. I may have seen the cross here, and that's why I was looking to go up, and I screwed this trade up. So we took a 4 point loss here. It was a quick one. It wasn't as big. And I was
Yeah.
still trying to figure out my stop too, because I think between this trade and the first trade, me and you were talking about how far back my stop should be, or how far, how much I should be risking in my reward ratio and
Yeah.
everything else. So I believe this was once again I said in chat, I was like, I keep getting like lightning stopped out, and I feel like I need more breathing room. And then you were like, yeah, you do.
For sure. I
So
go 10 is the minimum for me. Actually, 8 is the minimum, and I really don't. I like about 20.
yeah, and I feel like 20 might be right, especially if I'm doing like if I go into a three contract trade. Um, the so I took this trade as a loss. I mean, it was a small one, and it could have been an accident, but I took it as a loss. It was my second loss.
Sure.
This trade was probably more of a intuition, like I'm looking for the short. I took a much larger loss here. I took about 20 points here. And
Yeah.
this was my third one. It was a big one. So I was looking for what came after. I did not use the confluence of the MA cross here. I don't know if it was because I was confident with the MACD. Where are we at with the RSI on this one? Let me see. RSI.
I would say both of these. Yeah, actually, go ahead. Let's take a look at the RSI. What do you have? Yeah, not in the lower.
No, not at all. So I don't know. To be fair with you, I don't know what was going through my brain on this one because I was pretty
Mm.
clear all week. This may have been a psychological trade here.
Yes. In
This,
my opinion. And I don't
yes.
want to tell you, I don't know exactly. I think both of these you were hoping you could call the top.
I
As
may
simple as
have
that.
saw a divergence here. I thought I saw a
Um,
divergence here between the tops too, and I may have been like, okay, like we're starting to see it. It was very subtle, but it was here between these two. We were going up here, and this was kind of leveling
mhm.
off, if not tilting down a little bit. But
Yeah, I see the
regardless,
divergence there. I definitely see that. But what
I
you didn't have was structure break.
right, right.
Um, it's that and you know, I mean, it does come down to a style and an RR thing and a yada yada because I will sometimes, I mean, if I see things on a higher time frame level or whatever, I'll just take a shot. And sometimes, you know, you saw the screenshot, I'll enter short, say here, and then I'll take a loss here, and then I'll say I'll enter short here, and I'll take a loss here, and I'll enter short here and take a loss, like whatever, you know. But ultimately the question for you becomes, are do you want to be the type of trader that maybe takes like three paper cuts in a row, and then let's say they finally short here and they catch the whole thing? Or do you want to be the type of trader that sits through all this and then maybe, all right, so you got the structure here, you got the structure here, you got the structure here, and then you get a structure break here, and let's say you enter like one here or whatever. And then let's say actually it just pumps up again, right? So you took nothing, you took nothing, 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 and then you take one big loss, right? Or whatever. Or do you want to be the type of trader that takes like a few small losses before you eventually cut it? And I
Yeah,
really I don't think there's a 100% answer to that, honestly. But ultimately you didn't have structure break for either of these, right?
right. And I think, yeah, and like I said, this one, the thought of what I was trying to do may have started here, but I believe that this was a botched just in general trade, and I was like almost like, holy crap, I didn't mean to do that, and closed it out immediately, took the 4 points, and
Yep.
moved on. I still counted it as one of my three trades, one of my three bad like red trades, just because I don't. Once again, I'm not trying to overtrade here, and then I took this one, and I was like, okay, I'm done. Like it's
Right.
psychologically, like if I'm gonna be green on anything for the day, it's gonna be my psychological stuff and like knowing that I can stop myself and like and I did.
Yeah.
I locked myself out for the rest of the day. So that's where we came in. That was Monday. Monday was a loss. I believe between the three, I think Monday was like $150 or something of that nature. It
Uh-huh.
was.
Yeah.
So moving on to
Okay.
Tuesday.
Hey,
Just
hold on before you
Good.
move on. Let me because those are easy trades to fix.
yeah. Yeah, really, you're just too late and then too early. So what do you think, Simp?
Well, just read the chart like a book. You know, top to bottom, left to right. Um, so you see right there was no break of structure, right? On the
Right.
first, on your second trade, there was no break of structure, so you shouldn't have even taken that trade. There was not even a break of a moving average,
Right. And that's
so
the
that
book.
would have been that should have been a no brainer. Like,
And that's the book. You never got to the page that said structure was broken.
yep, and just take it step by step, right? Remember, you gotta at least stack three catalysts before you even get in the trade. If you don't have three, don't take your freaking finger off the mouse.
Right.
and don't take the trade until you are certain that you at least have three confluences. So you start with price action, and then your moving averages, and then RSI and MACD.
Yep.
Right. And I think Monday too, me and Toad, I think we had a good conversation around 1 minute breaks of structure. Um,
Yep.
which
Yeah, the,
helped me later in the week a little bit.
Well,
yeah. The 1 minute will give you anxiety, but it's a good way to look at the chart, right? So you get the break of structure on the 1 minute, and then the break of structure on the 5 minute is a confirmation of break of structure. So that'll tell you like the 5 minute is always it's probably the most reliable chart for entries once you get used to it.
Right.
yep.
The 1 minute will probably give you the best entry just because it's inside the 5 minute, but it'll give you anxiety and it probably wakes out and stops out a lot of new traders because it's just fast moving. The 5 minutes a little slower, but you have to get used to it.
Yep.
The second trade, same thing, no break of structure on the way down. Uh, or
Yep.
oh yeah,
He was
and
going down,
up
yeah.
the 10. That first trade that you took, see how what's that red moving average?
Red one is 50.
Yeah, so see how it broke the 50 and it broke structure
Yep.
and it retested the 50? That was your entry.
Yep.
Right.
That
Right
was
in the
your entry.
GP.
Yep. And then if you the one nugget that I may have mentioned last week is to look for the speed, right? Because if you would have entered at the 50, it came down. Look at where it came down to. It came to it slowed down at the bottom, right there where the little +2 is. It started to slow down. And that once it starts to slow down and it's not continuing to go in your direction, that's when you gotta be like, oh, I might need to cut this. Because what you want in your favor is the trend and then the speed of the candles going in your favor. Because
Yep.
if it goes in your favor for one candle and then it slows down at the bottom of that candle, you're like, this might bounce back. Okay,
Yep.
let me see if there's an imbalance that is going to fill before continuing down, which it kind of did. See how it filled that red imbalance right where it says -2,
Yep.
Yeah.
and then it filled it right here, filled that imbalance, and then it started getting engulfing green candles.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Uh, Shoot, can you erase all those yellow lines? That's what I'm trying to.
They're all gone.
Okay, cool. So yeah, just read it like a book and make sure you have three confluences before even getting in the trade. If you don't have three, don't even touch anything. And
Okay.
definitely identify two entries and then any imbalances that you might see.
Yeah, so I think definitely this week moving forward, the two entries and the imbalances thing is going to be a working piece for me, like for sure,
Okay.
like hardcore. Because you'll see as the week goes on, like I definitely got better with following rules and entries and confluences and everything else.
Yeah. Let's see the rest.
A little bit better at least.
Let's see what. Let's see the rest.
So here we are, October 7th. October 7th was good old dump off day. And I think something else that I was fighting on Monday was trend, and I was like, yeah, no, I ain't doing this. I knew this before I started to not fight the trend. So here we are, October 7th. Day starts right here, and basically out of the gate, doesn't know what it wants to do, and it just absolutely dumps. I think it dumps. What is it? This is the 200-point day, isn't it? 200 and
Something like that.
153. Yeah, it has like a crazy dump off. So basically, I waited for. Let's zoom in here a little bit. I was trying to catch this at the top a little bit more. I think I had one bad trade off the get-go here. Actually, no, I don't even think I had one bad trade. I think I started playing with contracts too because Toad, you were suggesting to take them off the table when
Take them off the table.
yeah. So I did 10 points. So let's see here.
You started here, right? And then you bought one about here. No, wait. Yeah, you started 203.
I saw a break of structure
I
here, and I
wish
think I was
Project
looking.
X had freaking markers,
I
but
it does. I know, like Trading View, where you hover over them and it shows you exactly where you're going. Yeah.
yeah, for
So
real.
hang on, let's go to the minute here because I believe I used the minute here to start. Whoa.
Yeah, and I'll say one thing about the minute between the five is when you zoom out here, I'll show you is the oh yeah, wait, no, we're back. We're all the way at the morning now.
We are October 8th.
Oh, you got to go days back. I see.
Yeah, it resets you when you change, which is whatever. Not great.
Yeah,
All right, so this is the 7th.
I see you got the structure markings out there. That's
Here we
awesome.
are. All right, so we can.
Yeah, one thing is that on the 5 minute and the 1 minute, the structures, even when the deep structures get broken, they like to retest.
Yep.
So watching the 1 minute kind of helps you for that. So because I notice a lot of times, like imagine this is the 5 minute. All right. A lot of times I'll be like, oh, this is structure and this is structure and this is structure and this is structure. And then it'll come up here. I'll be like, it broke structure. But no,
Yeah.
so if you imagine this is the 5 minute, the 1 minute then shows you the deeper structure. So But
Yeah.
go ahead.
So this trade, I remember it being very fast. So I entered here, 203. So we were probably around the middle of the candle here. I watched it come back up and tested the 10. 10 was already, this is the 1 minute, right? So I'm taking the trade off of a cross on the 1 minute, not the five. I watched this dump off, basically starting to dump off, and I waited for the structure break. For me, the structure break, and Toad and some of you guys can tell me if this is wrong, but I watched it break right here. And I was basically like, okay, now I gotta wait because I feel like it's gonna come back up to test
Uh-huh.
again to see if
Yeah.
it's gonna test. And sure enough, it did. It came up, and so I entered. I got in a little bit late because I'm still
Mhm.
not. I would love to get those like laser, like right at the top, like entries if I'm selling.
It's fine. You
But
don't need them.
I got it right here, and basically just waited and let it go. And then I took one. So I entered with two contracts, had three confluences. Uh, if we look at
And I see Semper. I see what you're high. I see what you're drawing.
what is he drawing?
He's drawing how to get the laser entry.
Yeah, it
So
was the
when you if you're trying to get the laser entry and it didn't quite work out here, but
right.
you it's I mean this low was broken and then it came back and tested that exact low.
Yep,
I
I
mean,
see it.
it's kind of tough, that there are always multiple things because it could have also shot to fill this imbalance, or it could stop at this structure, or it could stop at the GP of this. You know what I mean? So that's why you don't need the laser entry, and you'll get the laser entry sometimes, and sometimes you'll get the laser stop, bro.
Hmm.
Sometimes you'll get the laser I tick out, the bottom tick stop out, so it's just about being right most of the time.
Right.
But go ahead. Yeah, so
So
you
here
got
we
in
are. So
203.
we were under the 50.
Uh-huh.
Cross, we had the cross, and I saw a break of structure. I said, okay, we weren't 5 out of 5. We had three. I felt confident. So I basically entered. Um, I set my stop. I was trying to set my stop for 10 points, or my stop, my take profit for 10 points, which would have been 93, but I had one. I must have set it a little bit lower, so we got out one contract at 188. I moved to break even to make sure I didn't lose any money. It was a pure profit trade, and
Uh-huh.
basically it popped back up, stopped itself out. So I took my first green trade right here. It was small, but I took it right here.
hmm
All right,
Yep. Yep. All right, you want me to give you some thoughts on that one, or you
go
want to
ahead.
just move on to that?
No,
All right,
no, no.
so you if you're going to the way I trade is that I'm not going to take profit and I'll close the whole trade. I'll close it. If I don't like how I'm feeling about it, I'll close it. But I'm not going to take profit before at least 1-to-1 RR. Like, if I am, then I am not confident on the direction and I shouldn't even be trading.
Okay.
All right, so if you got in around 200, which is here, and you're risking about 20 points, you have all the way up to here. Right. But you took it out and you got a win. I mean, you got a 15-point win. So you were just shy, right? But if instead you had held to at least one, which is down here, it never would have came back to your break even. I mean, maybe it would have gotten you ticked out here, which is something you got to deal with sometimes. And then you would have caught like 50 pointers or whatever. But so in my opinion, I mean, you didn't have a reason to jump and take profit but I mean, shit, it's improvement. If you look at Monday, you jumped the gun and you got in late and then you got in early and now you're like almost on time. So that's awesome improvement. So, but I'm sure you see what I'm saying about the
Yeah.
RR and the strat. And you didn't have a reason to get out. Your two-bar stop didn't get violated. Your strong red didn't get violated. So you're still under the 50 on the RSI. So
Yep.
structure's still bearish. So
So
trust the trend.
we took. I'm trying to think of how many points we took there. So we took basically this day I believe was $55 in profit.
Oh,
Um, but we took that trade, and then the next trade, so I was still under. I think I was up like 30 or $35.
yep.
Um, so I was still under. So I continued to watch it go down, and I believe on the five at this point, and I don't want to switch it because it's going to reset us again.
Yeah.
But I believe at this point on the five, we started to cross, and we started to have more confluence that we were going, like we were going to go off the cliff. It just kept breaking down. So
Uh-huh.
I took another two, and I don't know if right here I may have just took it, and then my stop was too close, so I had to re-enter again, and that's why I re-entered right away. I believe that's what happened here because I have -2 and then +2, and I'm not entirely sure. I'm
It
assuming
looks like
that's
you got in, then got out.
yeah. I think what
If
happened was I may have set my. I was going to set my stop, and I dropped it right, right where I entered, and it closed
okay.
me out. So I re-entered, and we ran it through at 187. So I waited basically. I was like, okay, well, I got stopped out. Let me wait. It dumped and then
Uh-huh.
came back up. And when it came back up is when I watched it tag this and I entered at 187.25, which is basically at the top of this green candle.
Yeah.
And then I just took the points on this. I was still trying to get my head wrapped around my RR like you were just talking about and getting my stop set at 20 points and taking profit at 20 points and like I mean ideally like and Toby, you could tell me if this is not good, but should I, for the future, like, would aiming for obviously I have a $50 goal every day, right? So that kind of
Okay.
makes things a little bit different. But should I be aiming for more of like a one to, like you say 1 to 1, but should I go for like a 1 to 2 or a 1 to 3, or should I always just
I
one
mean,
to one it for now to be safe?
it really depends on your strategy.
Hmm.
All right, so when I did Finding My Way, Semper never really liked RR, but it's like if you have good RR, it's good, and Brandon talks about RR, but he doesn't focus on it.
Right.
All right, RR is not, and because the thing is because you can have it is a it's a spectrum, bro. You can have 4 RR, you can have 10% win, you can have 10% RR and still make money. You can have 10% win rate and still make money. So, um, if you're gonna trade kind of like I think Brandon, for example, has uh lower RR, higher win rate, I think, or something like he is going to be averaging in, taking more trades, taking profit off for break even. I don't want to
Right.
speak to exactly how he trades. I haven't watched live too much recently. I've been focusing on my own thing, but um, I think it's much easier, in my opinion, to trade with higher RR and decent lower, like 50%, 60% win rate. I think it's easier because you take less trades. It's less like you need just one good win. So, I'm saying all that rant to say it's my opinion, right? Because a lot of people make money. I know one of our traders, Pete, in our group, he has like an 88% win rate. All right, but his RR is not close to one. So it's like that's what I'm saying is it's style. But what I do is I take 10, my go-to if I'm just going to be clicking that button, my go-to is I either have no stop and I start with 1 or 2 micros and I will average in. I will be down 50 points and I'll buy one more and I'll buy two more. I have two styles. I either do that or I take like a 10 point or a 20 point stop and I take a third out at 1R, I take a third out at 2R, and then I split the remaining third and I go for like 3R, 5R, 10R, and I'm just holding. I'm just holding. I'm like, I'm above 2R. I don't care where it goes because
Mhm.
I've already, if you're above 2R, if you're 1 to 1 and you have a 50% win rate, you're flat. So if you have a 2 to 1 and you're 50%, you're making good money. You have like a
Yeah.
45-degree curve. That's how I feel about it. Like, and that's I'm coaching, I'm mentoring from my style. I'm ranting too long now, so I'm gonna wrap it up. But I'm mentoring from my style, and that's why I was saying if you had held for that 20 pointer, you could have taken one off, and then maybe in my style, you would have never gotten stopped out from this until at worst case scenario here, and you would have gotten 80 points.
Yeah, it would have been a
So
huge one. It would have been a huge, huge. And I that day I like got up when I was done and I walked over to my coworker who kind of is learning to trade, and he's like, "Did you catch that huge dump?" And I was like,
you could have.
I
You
could
could
have."
have.
And I think my other issue is I was so hyper focused on just hitting my $50 goal for the day to stay consistent, and so I was like almost like cutting myself short.
Right.
Um, So I think it might also be a psychology thing for me where like it's a blend, like I have to get used to, like cutting out a contract and letting things run a little bit more and like you're just saying like, making sure that my RR is there and everything.
Yeah, because I mean, and you know what, man? It's like you're taking it there and it could go this way. It could go this way. It could go this way. It doesn't have to do, nobody knows what it's doing. That's why when I look at chats and people are like, this has to go up, I'm like, I'm not going to listen to you anymore because the market doesn't have to do anything you say or think. So, um, that's my point is that some days, it's like taking that off at 1 to 1. You're gonna get a lot of days where it's just like 1 to 1 break even, 1 to 1 break even. If you trade similar to my style, 1 to 1 break even. But then sometimes you're just gonna be like boom, 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 and it just pays for everything. So that's when you ask about RR, that's my opinion on it, and it works for me. So
Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean this day was a positive green day. Like I said, I definitely cut myself short on the second one too. I believe I did it on purpose because I was like, all right, I'm over my goal for the day. I cut myself out. I should have for sure let it run. At least even to like break even to where I knew I was gonna hit, say 50. But I got out at 179, which was pretty low, pretty low
right,
on the wick here. So obviously it closed out higher,
green is green.
but I was green. Yeah, it was my first green day was Tuesday. And like I said, I believe I was like around 50, like $53.
Right.
So it was good, but it was like my first day of like, okay, like I have to make sure I'm counting confluences and make sure that I'm you know, because the Monday I almost felt like I was like just getting used to having to follow rules since I never
Yep.
followed rules really
Uh-huh.
for certain. So it was a good test run. So that was second day
Uh-huh.
being green was good.
Yeah, I'm seeing exactly how it makes sense. I'm seeing, you put the rules on, it made you go too slow, and then you probably subconsciously realized you were hesitating, so then you went too fast, and then this day is decent, but you just wanted to make the money. I mean, I'm seeing it to
Yeah.
100%. So, I mean, how did the rest of the week go?
So moving on to I ain't hitting that button. What's going on? And you can see here too. I think we were talking during the day, but I was marking off like
Yeah,
some
drawing the
tops and
structure.
stuff. I was,
No.
and I
It'll
do.
never be perfect.
No, yeah, no. And I even did so like one part of my analysis, and I have it in my trading rules, is on the weekend and even during the week, I'm trying to do like a top-down analysis. So I'm marking off like some serious levels. And it looked like I think I was pointing it out, like it looked like it was touching those levels a lot. Some of them are dailies, some of them are like weeklies, some of them are 4 hour levels. So but it is helping drawing out some of the levels. So all right, so here
Yeah.
we are, October 8th, and October 8th
The
we are. So our October 8th open was right here.
opposite of the
Total
previous
opposite.
day.
Total
Right?
opposite. But I believe me and you were talking about the whole structure and hey, look, it's doing it again. So it took off um, for the first hour. Pretty much it
Right.
took off, and then it kind of started to bounce around up here. And I only took one trade this day. I took one pretty good trade actually, and I believe this day is where I used a 20-point stop, and I let it run. Yep, I let it run. I didn't even take any contracts off. I saw the cross. So once again, here's your 1 minute cross here.
Uh-huh.
And once again, I want to switch back to the five because I'm sure there's more confluences on the five. But I was counting my confluences. I was like, I at least had three. Um, and basically, I entered at 191, which was basically the middle of the candle,
Hmm.
right? So that's about right here. Yeah, a little in the middle, but 191. And I let it go. So my 20-point stop. definitely helped me there because I didn't get stopped out. Otherwise, previously I would have. I would have gotten probably if it came back up to here.
Yeah.
And I let it go down. And I grabbed just under 20 points there. I grabbed what, like 18, 17 points there
Yeah, just under 20.
on two contracts. And that was my whole day right there. And that was the same thing. That was about 55 bucks.
Uh-huh.
And
So
I,
I to oh good.
Mhm. No, go ahead. Then I locked myself out. That was it.
So I've definitely taken some very similar trades to this very recently. I mean, I think I just so um all right, so I'm kind of dizzing out about this, so I'll just draw some of the structure. All right, so this right here is where this is that what I was talking about last time, where it's like, oh, this is structure, and I was like, oh, we got a structure break, but really, it's like, where actually is it? It's hard to tell exactly here. Yeah, it's like here, and it did work out, right? It did work out, so I'm just gonna draw that and forget about it, and then um here, yeah, I think one thing. All right, so you entered almost on the close of the candle, and I love close of candle trades. I will take lots of close of candle trades, but if you're gonna enter, in my opinion, if you're gonna enter near the near not the high of a candle, right? So you know that the high right now, the high is somewhere. It should be a candle that is earlier in the trend. So a trade I would take and probably lose is this one. I would enter right on the close of that candle. And then the tough part about close of candle trades, if you're going to do this with NQ, in my experience, is it either takes no heat, meaning you can have a stop literally this tight, or it will stop. You don't even know. It could come just above the wick, anywhere. It'll either be basically nothing or somewhere up here. So that's just something to think about is that you're already a structure break, a lower high, and a lower low into the trend. But because you still identified that this was genuinely a structure break, you could catch almost 20 points. So here's one piece of advice while you're getting into your entries is you really want to get in because you think you see what you see and try getting in like one with your 20-point stop, or maybe give it a little more room, maybe give it a 25, try getting in like your one or something. And then when it starts getting closer, get in another one. And I'll bet a lot of the times your second one can catch the full 20.
Right. That
So
was
I,
something that I was trying to define this week too, is like when I should go in with one, like going real light and then add. Because I'm like, and I'm sure I'm sure you experienced this when you first started. I was real nervous about adding. I'm okay
yeah.
with taking off the table because I know I'm locking things in, but
Hmm.
real nervous about adding because I'm like, as you saw my first day, like picking, a time to enter and knowing that I'm going in the right direction, everything else, like adding on contracts in my brain is like, oh my God, are you crazy?
Yeah, it's a lot of
That,
psychology.
that's more advanced. Don't worry about adding right now. Just keep
Yeah.
it simple right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep it simple, and let's worry about getting your entries laser.
Okay.
Yeah,
Once you get
that
your entries lasered in, then we can worry about like, okay, are you gonna add average down or are you gonna average up? Either way, it don't matter as long as the move is going in your favor. Uh, yeah, just try to keep it as simple as possible. And as we progress, you're gonna get more stuff added to your toolbox.
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, I think
So
Toad
this is the
when we were
only one
talking
you
about
took.
this one, this is the only one we took. It was all I needed technically for the day. And I think when I took it, actually, now that we've been talking about it, I actually manually closed here because I felt like it was going to go back up.
I mean, that's good
Um,
intuition.
yeah, because I remember looking at it on the 5 minute chart, and if you look at it on the five, it's like the 5, it looks like it's the absolute bottom almost.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely manually closed this one out because I was already in my goal area and I was like, why risk it?
So,
Um,
so actually, where would be the right entry? That's what I meant to go into actually after I talked about this. Where would be the right entry? So this is the 1 minute. All right, so if you're looking for the 1 minute to see when structure breaks, all right, if you're only using the most clear structure, technically, I don't think this ever, and by clear structure, I mean there has to be a big red candle.
yeah,
So this is like questionable structure. Once it starts getting choppy-ish, I definitely consider that structure that can get bamboozled. If it breaks, it does mean something, but it's probably going to get screwed around with. All right, so then what is actually structure? This, if you're quick, all right, this for sure, because you get the strong candle, you get the attempt to follow through, and then it fails. All right, and in worst case scenario, that um and ultimately that one got tricked. It did. So it's like if you're looking at this as obvious structure, right, then I would, and then that was broken here, I would have fibbed this. And I think this is important because it's important to think about what you might think in the moment. So I would have fibbed this if I saw this as the clear structure. All right, and then you wouldn't have even entered here, right? Because you would have just seen the structure break. And then you would have came down here and then perhaps it would have been a stop loss. So it's like thinking about that in terms of what you did do, I think, in my opinion, it can help with NQ. Now, it's so hard to say but I think it can help a ton with NQ because if you can pay attention to the questionable structure, you can try to get in on really the early move. Um, because what I'm trying to say here is that if you were following only the true deepest structure, like simply structure, this would have been a no trade or a loss. But you were quick enough to see like this structure, so you did catch some win. So it's like if you can be, then there are two other things to add with like really getting laser entries is kind of thinking about where the market's trying to screw you or other people and um and what structure that's like kind of hard to see.
right.
But I mean
Yeah, I think
overall I
when I
think
was
this
in
is
the
pretty
moment, I
good.
think this was what I was looking at. I
Yeah.
and I bet you on the 5 looks a little different, but I think this is what I was really staring at here was this. I saw it come down, I saw it go up, and then I was like, this is weird because it's kind of like a lower or a higher low. And then I saw it dump again, and I believe that's where I was like, okay, like let's get some confirmation. 10 crossed over to
Yeah.
50. So
Yeah, this is a tough one. Like I don't even know. Like Semper, do you see a way that like I mean, even in hindsight, I just think this like the trend is really strong. The structure break was hard to see, and I mean it did give 40 points. That's true. It did give 40 points, but this is a tough one. You made money, so I don't really know exactly. I think this is probably, I mean, this was what day? Thursday?
Wednesday.
Was it Wednesday? That was
So
the
check.
all-time high,
Yeah, but
all-time,
this is
all-time high
all-time high
squeeze.
day.
Yeah, all right. So that's tough. So yeah, I don't have too much to say about this one. What are you saying, Saber?
See how price action broke that structure to the left where the yellow line is.
This one?
Hmm.
Yep. Now
Yeah.
now look at that little doji right here.
Hmm.
You see
I
that?
knew you were gonna say something about the doji, but I didn't know what. All
But
right, so
then look
this,
at, yep.
okay.
And now look at this wick where it came to.
Yeah.
Look at it went right to the body of that doji right there.
Yep. Shied it by a little bit, but pretty damn
And
close.
that tested his moving average to 50 again, and you had the 1050 cross.
Yeah.
So that right there, the 1050 cross is one confirmation. The back test of the 50 is another confirmation. The back test of that small, it's a small imbalance, but it got tested and filled. And then it went in the direction.
Yeah. Oh, now I see it. Now I see it. Okay. All right. So I was saying this is the clear structure. All right. That makes this the next clear structure.
Yep.
Right. That makes this the structure break. All right. That makes this the
Yeah.
fib.
And that's what I kind of went at was that one that you're looking at
And
now.
that makes that the GP
This
in the
one.
back test. That's how this trade worked.
Yep. Because the cycle almost restarted back up right here, right? Because it had a lower high and then it broke structure and then it created a higher low, which fucked up the whole sequence, right? But this one is still a lower high no matter what, right? So then the sequence started right here again and then it broke it, retested it all in one candle,
Hmm.
and then you could have got in. But it's in a right. You're not gonna see that right away. You're not gonna see it like as a newbie. You'd be like, "Fuck, I can't." Yeah, right,
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Hmm.
right.
That's a
But
tough one.
now that you have that in your sights, then you'd be like, okay, if we have breaker structure, we have this small imbalance that could fill, right? But and then we have the 1050 cross to the downside, and then you got the back test of the 50.
Yep.
So right, you got the breaker structure right here,
Yep.
and then we identify the BOS. Like identify, you can identify that immediately, right? Because you have that doji and that big red candle right after. So that's an imbalance that you can mark off as soon as it happens. As soon as that big red candle closes right here, mark off that imbalance. Now you got breaker structure, and then you got the 1050 cross. And now you got to just sit and wait. You would be sitting for like 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. When this happens, get in either at the 50 or at the doji body. And that's where I'm telling you where you should test the two entries, right? I mean, the two potential entries, right? One potential entry would be at the 50 SMA, and the second one would be at the body of that doji. The best entry or the best price would be at the doji. But sometimes that wick won't go all the way to that doji. It'll stop right there at that moving average
Yeah.
and then go down.
Yeah.
That's why I'm telling you, mark off two. And if that first level it smashes through, then definitely wait for the second level to get hit.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I was saying about getting like one or two and then wait for like having the two entries and think about because I mean, I don't know what you think. I feel like the market often doesn't pull back at all, or it pulls all the way back. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep, yep.
I don't know.
Watch, as soon as you guys start to identify these imbalances, you'll be like, oh shit, it's going to fill that imbalance and then go down, or it's going to fill that imbalance and then go up
Yeah.
because it needs that balanced out to to continue go for continuation.
Yeah. And even if it doesn't do what you think it's gonna do, it's that you're setting yourself up to be in a profitable situation.
Yep. And
Right.
that's
Right.
a mindset you have to have. You can't be like, I need to get in here in case I miss it. You need to
Hmm.
be thinking, these are my two best spots. This top
Hmm.
one right here is my best price,
Yeah.
right? So you either enter at the bottom one and you get out right away, or you get in at the bottom one and you add at the top one. Or third option is wait for the top level to hit and then get in. And as you get more experience, you'll be like, okay, this one's gonna come up to my top level. This one might not make it to my top level, so I might think about getting in at the bottom level. And that all comes with experience, how the candles develop, how the speed of the candles going back up to your level.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it where it's coming up to your level, and all of a sudden it's like, what the fuck? Price action slowed down. And at that point where it slows down, start looking to your left because there might have been a doji right here that's gonna cause a slowdown. Every time around these freaking dojis, price action slows down.
Yeah. And the action for that is you got to be ready with your finger on the trigger to take a little bit of profit
Yep.
Yep.
at those dojis.
Yep. And that's where you're gonna start building that gut. I'll be like, it's slowing down too much. Maybe I should lock in a little bit of green and maybe break even on the last one.
Yeah, I had a dream where like an entity was said to me. I was talking about trading, and the entity said to me, "Take profit on dojis."
That was probably me telling you.
Probably
Yes, bro.
Sam.
I think that was you. I woke up and I remembered that. Semper's lessons are that deep. Oh, son of
We need a Doji Power sticker.
yeah. I'm glad we figured out that trade because I was about to actually just say, screw it. It's all-time high. This trade is a scam. But no, we figured it out. The structure break was just hard to see, and you had to be on the 1 minute.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that was Wednesday's trade. And then yeah, it went bonkers. I locked myself out Wednesday, just watched it go bonkers all the way up. And then here we are on Thursday, aka today.
Yeah. Yeah, what you do on the
Today
fly?
was today was probably my best day. In terms of just like clarity and like obviously I made the most today. Today I think I did a little bit over $100. Um, I I waited for a whole bunch of confluences today. I racked a whole bunch of them up on the 5 minute. I was watching it on the one though for the break of structure. I had it set up. We opened up right around here and we started to dump and I started to watch it go up and down and then I saw BOS and I waited for it. I was trying to wait for it to come back up to retest. So I went in with three this time around at 236. So we were
Oh, okay. Like here.
236. We were right about
No,
here.
no, yeah, no, we're down here. Okay. Hmm.
So
Okay.
I watched it break and I entered. I took one off the table. So I did the plus one again, as you can see on accident today, trying to set up my single contracts for take profits. But anyway, so you can ignore the plus one here, or the minus one. I'm sorry, but I took profit for some reason around here. Oh, I closed out the extra one that I took. It wasn't supposed to be minus four. It was supposed to be minus three, but I minus four'd myself, as you can see, while I was trying to set up my targets. So I plus one'd it. So the ones you can ignore, but I took minus three at 236, and which is about halfway through this candle. 20-point stop loss, and I let it ride. Took one off the table at 219, and then I moved my stop all the way down, and it dinged me out right here. I moved at the top of this candle at
Hmm.
224, roughly almost stopped the candle.
Hmm.
So this whole trade itself it was just over 100 today. So and then I just stopped trading. So it was essentially a one and done trade again, same thing.
Okay. Now I'm thinking, all right, so I don't, all right, so you recognize the breakdown.
Let me see. I'm gonna switch this over to 5 minute real quick, just because we're
Oh,
at the end here, so
you're
we
already
can we
there.
can we can get here.
Yeah, so here's my problem is that it looks good because you won. And I really am not trying to be rain on the parade. I think it looks good because you won. I think so. All right, so you got in. It's not terrible. Let me draw a line here. Let me. All right, so you got in here about.
Yep.
Um. All right, so And I mean, I don't think I just muted someone here. There's heard some background volume. No offense. You can unmute if you got any questions or anything for sure. I think all right, so you got in the right halfway through here.
Yep.
Wait, let me. All right, so and it looked good because you won. Because what if it reversed? You know what I mean? Because this it looks like you sold a low, and I'm really not trying to shit on the parade. You know, you should see some of my trades. All right, I will drop some of my worst trades into the freaking, but somehow I still make money. Because it's that RR, in my opinion. All right, so how could this have been? And you see what I mean, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Right. Just to be fair, you know, I mean, I've had some trades I really you should see me sometimes when we're pushing all-time high in the middle of the day. Like I'll short all-time high and a gap up when it's opening, but I won't short all-time high in the middle of the day when we're pushing it. And some of my trades all-time high, like I'm buying like here. You know, so don't get me wrong, you know, I totally get it, but it's got to be the market climate for it. So I think how could this trade have been way better? All right, so you had the 1050 cross here. Up here, the 10 was already under the 50. I'm a couple beers deep. Right.
It's right here. It's right here. It's right here. Hit
10 was
across the right.
already under the 50. Oh, your red is the 50.
Yeah.
All right,
Red
so
is the
you had the
50.
50 under the 200 at least, right?
Yep.
Just to think about that. All right, and then you had the 10 properly under the 50. And if you look at it, we're on the 5 minute. So, I mean, again, this is that structure thing that I was talking about. Is this the structure? Is this the structure? Even if you called this the structure, you could have gotten maybe no entry.
So
But
here's where it
so
gets
paying
hairy
attention to
too,
that,
Toad.
yeah.
I don't trade. Remember, I don't trade the first 15
Um,
or pre-market
man,
unless you say I should start doing that. If you say, hey, you should probably start looking at doing that.
that's above my pay grade whether or not you should trade the open. All
And
right, because
also,
I'm not going to
I
tell someone to
the
trade the
timing is
open.
bad too. The timing is like with work and everything. I'm
Uh,
just gotten to work, so I try to like settle in for the first like I'm usually there around like 8:50, say 9 o'clock. So
right.
for mindset and everything else, I think that's
I
another
get
reason
that.
why I don't trade the first like you know hour prior and hour prior to open, and then like say the first 15 minutes
Uh-huh.
after open.
I get that. And you know, if you saw some of my trades, man, I'm only like all the ranting I do in the chats, I'm only trying to ever get people to drop their pride and drop their ego and accept that we're all monkeys, right? And if you could see some of my trades, I'd have nothing to say but shame. So I totally now so what I'm going to say is that you can't let if you don't want to trade the open, all right, you can't and if you got work things, you can't let that uh make you force a trade. Um yeah, you can't let that make you force a trade. In my opinion, I mean, I make the most money between 8 and 11 for my trading. But like any of it, I don't care what it is. I mean, yeah, usually so. But if you can't do it, you can't use that as a reason. Then you should shift everything. Um, you should shift everything. And even if you're not going to trade to open, wait until 9:45. Because so I was drawing the structure. All right, and then right here we fail to make a lower high. We certainly make a lower low. And then I see what you're saying. So where's 9:30? 9:30, 9:35, 9:45. You know, you could have waited until 9:45 and still caught this fib, right? Right, you still could have caught, you could have waited because this was the start of the 9:45 candle.
Mhm.
And I'm not trying I'm not trying to get you down. I guess maybe I'm too realistic. I mean, Semper, I don't remember how Semper was during my finding my way.
No, 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 no.
He
This
was
is
very
fine. I'd
encouraging.
rather know
Okay,
what I
cool.
could do better. No,
Okay,
no,
all
you're
right,
good. You're
cool.
good.
Cool. Sometimes I'm too gentle with people. I think, I work. Yeah, it's family, and my coworkers. So, all right. So this was the start. This was the start of the 9:45 candle. Right. You could have fibbed this out, and you could have gotten in honestly on the 50. You could have gotten in near the 50, the 10. You could have got. Now the tough part is that 20-point stop might be a little bit of trouble. I mean, 20 points is right here. So in theory, if you got in GP, that probably would have stopped you out. So I do think if you're going to trade the open, you might want to widen that stop out, maybe just do 2 micros. And
Mhm.
and then in this situation, if you're going to trade before 10, the way, and I'm talking from my experience now because I have a hard time trading with a hard stop at open. That's true. I do. All right, so if you're going to trade before 10, trade after hours, yeah. I don't, Semper, you'd have to speak to all that. I'm so bad at after hours, bro. I'm such a 50-50. But point is, you could have gotten in at the GP1 and you could have been like, I think this is the lower high. And sure, you're risking 40 points, but you could have gotten in, if you're willing to risk 3 points on 20, you can risk 1 point. I'm sorry, if you're willing to risk 20 points on 3 contracts, you can risk 1 contract for 40 points. And then you can add in and risk another 20 on an additional. So what I'm saying is open and after hours and everything is all the same thing, different momentum. It's not really, it's not totally the same thing. But you don't have to be afraid of open, but if you're going to be in open, you definitely have to be prepared to take like a 40-point stop, and you could have gotten in the proper level because I feel like this, it worked out, and I'm very glad it worked out. But I feel like this will not work out for you a lot of times, and it was kind of forced because of the schedule thing you were saying. Just to be very critical on it. That's
Got it.
that's how I feel about it.
Okay.
So I guess then the lesson is then patience. If you want to trade the open, having a bigger stop, but ultimately, whether you were trading or not, I think this is a structure break, and then that that's a fib. And I bet this is the 161 or the 261 down here. I bet that actually. And then we came back to retest the 100, or if this is the 161, because what's the fib? Um, where's my trash can? Clear all drawings. If this is the fib, um, for the structure break leg, yeah, this is probably the 161. Yeah, and this is probably the 261. So you probably got right here a 50, a GP back test, 161, 100 back test, 100 back test. And it's not always clean, and that's why I'm like taking profit and going break even because this isn't very clean. I mean, it is clean in hindsight, but definitely could have scammed me. I could have thought this is going to go to the GP or something like that. So, but yeah, do you see what I'm saying? Does that hopefully that helps?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Makes total sense.
Okay. So yeah, it's a hard combination because on your Monday you were afraid, then you jumped the gun, and then the next day was good, and this day you were not afraid, and it worked out. But I feel like that's something to think about. So I think it's like a combination of stick with that 1 or 2 micros, follow the rules, try the 2 entries, um, look for the imbalances, definitely watch the structures, try to hold for good RR. And I mean, hell, week 2, it's looking pretty decent. But yeah, then Semper said, well, I'm just ranting here. Semper, I might as well continue. Semper said trade after hours. It's really slow. 100%. I don't know if you can chime in, Semper, but I'm bad at
Oh
after
yeah, I
hours.
see what he said. Yeah, you know what's funny is he said that last week too, and I was gonna try to do it this week, and I didn't get a chance. I wanted to
Yeah,
be able to sit. I actually, there's no reason why I can't. To be honest with you, my time is obviously much clearer than it is during the day.
yeah.
So I should probably give it a shot, honestly.
Yeah, give
For
it a
after
shot.
hours, for
There
after
we
hours,
go.
just fib out the daily candle, the high low, and then wait for price action to open up inside it. Brandon, it used to be one of Brandon's top plays, but he used to just fib the open and the closed, so pretty much just the body. But either way works,
Okay.
and that's gonna give you the bias right for tonight. And then if it goes inside the fib, then wait, look for it to go up to the GP, to the golden pocket, to the 50%. It used to be called the half candle retrace. And usually price action loves to do that in the after hours to set up for the morning.
That makes sense.
But either way, practice that fib, just a daily fib. Every day. As soon as it closes, fib it out and then wait for it to open and see what it does. You don't have to trade it, just see what it does.
Watch it. Okay.
Just watch it and then see, and then try to, using your strategy, try to forecast what it's gonna do throughout the night.
Yeah.
If you could forecast, I mean, you're gonna be. I used to be wrong all the time, but guess what? I started getting better and better and better.
Yep.
And I also got started getting better at reading the candles and reading price action after hours because it was so damn slow.
Yep.
Um, and then when you see the characteristics, because you want to try to look for characteristics of a strong candle, characteristics of a weak candle, over under level, doji levels, right? Gaps. Okay, what happens in a gap? It usually fills it, and then it continues in the opposite direction. um, these are all little nuances or little characteristics of the market that you need to start looking at, because eventually later you're gonna put it all together, and then you're gonna be able to trade any time of the day.
Got it.
But yeah, just focus on, okay, because you could literally, it'll uh intraday 5 minute play will probably take you 30 minutes after hours
Yeah.
or more,
Yeah.
probably an hour or two. Like the longest trade I've ever been in was like 9 hours, and that was overnight.
Yep. Same. I think that's my problem after hours actually is it takes a while and I get impatient.
Yep, that's gonna help you be patient, right? Because it's so damn slow. You need
Yeah.
to wait and wait and wait. Be like, fuck, I gotta come back in 20 minutes. Okay, look at it in 20 minutes. Oh, still not at my level. Okay, come back.
I don't mind
Hmm.
doing that though. It's perfect for me at night because like once like obviously this week is even more so because I literally have nobody around. But even
Yeah,
on weeks when I have family here and I'm taking care of my kid and everything, after 8 o'clock it's me. So I go to bed at some point between 11, 12, 1 o'clock. So
and
it's good.
just try to forecast the date, and then see when you wake up tomorrow. Okay, did any of my levels hit? Okay, this one hit. I still need to wait for this one to hit. So let me look for a play from this level to this level. And that's gonna give you a little bit more prepared for in the morning. You're still gonna do your TA in the morning, but the TA right now is gonna help you confirm your TA in the morning or contradict, right?
Right.
Uh, so that's what I would recommend. I know it might be boring and slow, but that's where it helped me the most.
Yep. And if it contradicts your TA, accept it. Accept that. Some days I look at the market and I'm like, this doesn't look good. I'm just not gonna like I make that joke in the chat, I'm not gonna bet my money when I'm fighting Mike Tyson, but I will bet my money when I'm fighting a drunk guy stumbling out of the bar. So,
Damn.
okay. So that was his whole week.
That
That
was the
was
whole week.
everything. Okay,
That's
so you looks like you were green this week. Or
I was
about
green.
flat,
No, I
Hey,
was
maybe.
it was green.
You're nice
but
green?
something that I noticed when you
Yeah.
were explaining your trades is that when you said you had confluence, your trades worked out. When you didn't, they didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
When you
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
followed your rules, your trades worked out. When you didn't follow your rules, they didn't work out.
Yep.
So start confirming those rules. The rules that worked out, that kept you safe, reaffirm them. Be like, okay, these. Put little stars or asterisks wherever. Make them bold, and actually like print them out. I forgot to post it, but I'll post it probably later tonight.
Can you guys
What?
see this?
Yes.
I started building them out. I haven't totally gotten there yet, but I'm getting there. So I
Yeah, see,
started.
those are rules, right? But
Yep.
the way that I'm gonna post them to you is questions for you to ask yourself before you take a trade.
Okay.
You're having that internal conversation in your head, like, okay, do I have this? Does this look like this? Okay, I have
Mm-hmm.
three confluences. Okay, now I can try to enter a trade.
Mm-hmm. You know, Semper, one of those critical questions for me because literally, I mean, it's taken me a year and a half to finally be making money, and the only thing has ever been psychology. One of those critical questions is always, am I mad? Am I mad? Am I pissed? Am I mad? Am I annoyed? So I think that's, yeah, starting that dialogue, starting that conversation for sure. Did you have a structure or maybe you could send them after? I think, or maybe I even have the template that you sent me and I could send that over to LigaM. So,
Yep. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Post them and then, or just post them in the chat and see if it look like the ones that I had. If not,
Yeah.
I'll post. If they don't, then I'll post mine too, and then he can customize them however he wants.
Okay. Well, we should wrap this one up. Actually, since you pulled up your rules, we can check those out. Let's see what rules you're going to be using moving into this week. And I think rules, I've got some rules that I will not break. I've got some conditional rules. You know, it's so let's see what are your non-negotiables?
Yep. So I last week we talked about it a little bit. So we're maxing out trades at 5 a day,
Okay.
uh, no matter what. I mean, ideally, a profit target of $50 is not a lot right now, but um, so 5 trades a day. Max losing trades is three. So I actually used that rule on Monday. I hit three reds and I was done. Um, I haven't defined a max loss amount yet. I don't know if I should or should not in terms of monetary or points. And we took the confluences, right? So if I have three confluences for a B setup, five confluences for A setup, I should probably notate in here that this is for, and with what this relates into is for contracts. But
Yeah.
and then my daily profit goal right now is $50. I was thinking about like max account risk percentages and stuff, but I don't think I need to go there yet for trading rules. Uh, and then just some analysis process, like looking at the weekend and daily candles and like trying to find like major levels, marking them off. 4 hours. I look at the 4 hour every day, marking it off. 1 hour all the time, every day during the day. I look at the 1 hour to see what direction we're going into, and just knowing what
Yep.
our trend is, so I'm not fighting the trend because that's definitely something that I've done in the past, and I absolutely do not want to do. So, and I learned it this week, like. I think Monday I was fighting the trend, and then that was it. I was like, I'm done fighting the trend. I'm playing with the trend from now on. So, um, and trading obviously breaks of structure has become more of like my main, I would say my main tool right now. Um, breaks of structure have kind of helped me. And then obviously then using the other tools that I have like RSI, MACD,
Uh-huh.
the MAs. I'm gonna get this upcoming week. I'm gonna focus on imbalances and what Semper was talking about earlier, trying to find imbalances, dojis, looking left. I've been looking left a lot more ever since he started putting up stuff in the Discord as it is. So, but just identifying them.
Yep.
Um, I'm gonna continue using the one and the five. I will look at the 15, but I'm gonna continue using the one and the 5 minute charts. I think to trade. I think they've been working out a little bit better for me. I won't want to get sucked into the 1 minute, but for sure, it's definitely been helping me. So if you guys have anything to add to this, obviously on top of the questions that
Yeah.
Semper is going to have me.
Looks good.
Uh,
Bug?
Stay away from one. 2 is okay, 3 is better. 15, 30, I think I have seen better action respecting dojis, but what do I know? I'm always losing, so
Oh shit. Oh. I mean, I agree. 15 is God, 5 is Jesus, and 1 minute is the disciples.
damn.
Yeah. No, I read that somewhere. No, man, I think these rules, I agree with that. Try to not focus too much on the low time frame, which lends to what I'm talking about trying to stick to at least like 20 points. If you're trading near the open and you're still using the 20 points, don't be afraid to try to get in on the wicks. Sell at the top of a red candle, sell on the 50% of a red candle, and just try it out for 1 to 1. Um, no, I think these rules look good. Keep it simple. Don't get too stuff you need stuff you can follow, you know what I mean? I made like 10 rules and I didn't follow them, and I'm like, what do
Yeah.
I really need to follow? Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what do I really need to follow? I'm like, I need to follow that I can't trade when I'm mad. I need to follow that I can't over leverage,
I'm gonna try
and
to
so
I'm gonna try to journal some of my confluence stuff this week too, because I find myself getting lost in counting confluences and making sure everything is going like where they should be.
yeah,
And if I do take a trade, like obviously, I want to know like why we can see it, but I want to make sure that I know exactly why I took it. So I need to
right.
get better with notating my confluences, like what's working in my favor, is MACD, RSI, MA, anything related to MAs, and then, getting better with the fibs, like Semper was saying too, fibbing out daily candle.
Hmm.
I think this week for sure is going to be that plus trying to trade maybe more at night, or I'm sorry, after hours, however you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever.
Evening session, London session, or whatever it is, or Asia.
Yeah, right.
So
Okay.
that's going to be some things to work on this week for sure. Should I keep my daily profit target at $50? Should I go up to 100? What's the
Um,
Keep it at 50
yeah, there you
okay?
go.
for now. Because you want to improve consistency.
Okay.
You want to prove consistency before scaling up.
Okay. So 50, we'll keep it at 50. If I have an opportunity to let something run, I will, but I will try to keep it at 50 without cutting myself too short.
No, if you
Yeah.
if you go above it, all good.
Yeah.
But if you hit 50 in one trade, call it.
Okay.
You don't want to keep. I mean, you could call it there, and I don't know if you could take a sim trade, but
Yeah, I
Well,
can.
yeah, I mean, if you're taking two contracts for 20 points and you're looking for 20 points, I mean, that's $80 if you just hit T1. Um, I mean, I think that's something to think about. I was gonna not say anything, but then I'm thinking, yeah, if 50, I mean, maybe cut down your stop loss, or maybe just leave it. Yeah, I mean, fuck it, I'm not gonna.
I could leave it, Toad. I mean, we talked about it all week. You kind of taught me,
I would
the
trust
20
Semper with
points.
this one. I would trust Semper. I would trust Semper. I'm not gonna. I would trust Semper
Yeah.
like 100%. I wouldn't even question. I would try like undoubtedly because profit targets and daily goals and stuff. I've got no opinion on that. So, but I'm just
Okay.
thinking the 20 point. You know what I mean? So that's cool.
And I definitely like the idea of consistency for sure. Like that's something that I didn't have before, and I'm gonna work towards
Yeah,
it. So
yeah,
I'm cool with that. It's good.
yeah. Yeah, I just sound funny about it, I guess, because I've got so many thoughts about it. Because profit goals and daily targets, I've never been good with. You know what I mean? So I've just got so many thoughts, I guess, running around my head. You know what I mean? I will just, I'll be like, oh, $200 a day, $200 a day, oh, 1,800. And I'm like down
Mm.
500, down to 100, and I'm like plus 2,000. So I just, because I let stuff run. So, but that's just me. So. But back to your stuff, these rules. I mean, I think that's awesome. This stuff is looking pretty good. Definitely stuff you can follow. So,
Yeah, I'll keep refining it. I'll keep trying to get better with it. I think I'm gonna
yeah.
keep reviewing it. But yeah, I figured I'd try to get some stuff down to follow, and I have.
Yeah.
I did. I mean, like I said, I did follow it. So
Yeah, if you journal every day, you'll get the results you want. Or you'll have, as long as if you journal every day and you accept when you're not getting the results you want, you'll eventually get the results you want. So, All right, yeah, we should wrap it up there. Anything else, Emperor? Anything else? Anyone else? Any other questions? Anything else?
No, we gotta just focus on following the rules, look for the imbalances, and identify those two potential entries. And yeah, keep posting pictures and journal.
Real quick, I'm in here. I missed like half the meeting. Could you give a quick example of what an imbalance is? I think I know what it is, but is it is it just like a big long wicked candle that hasn't been like met with support or resistance?
No, it's a big. So it's a small candle with a huge candle right after, and there'll be no price action to the right yet. So see that big red
Right.
candle right there? So
Uh,
the yeah. So the imbalance
okay.
is from the top of that green body. I mean, from the bottom of that green body to where that green wick is on the third green.
That
Okay,
one?
so I see the green body of the candle, and then I see the wick, the doji above it, right?
Yeah, the doji.
The like the three candles away from the green body candle on the left side.
Mm, this
Oh
one?
yeah, but that's not the imbalance. See, because there's price action that bounced back up, so that's filling that imbalance. But it
Okay.
didn't
Mm,
completely fill it.
hmm
So here's an imbalance right here. See this huge imbalance, and then it comes and
Yeah.
fills it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's actually, yeah, that's, yeah, killer. Yeah,
And that's basically the idea of imbalance, right? You want to fill those big wick candles or like the big body candles, basically.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you guys.
you're welcome.
Nah, not you, Toad. Nah, I'm just playing.
I mean, you'd be right if you said that, bro. I'm not imbalances, man. I don't even. There's some
Nah, I
stuff
hear
I'll chime in on my opinion.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm doing good. I'm
Damn,
when
bragging,
I'm
huh?
not trading mad, I'm doing all right. But so I really think imbalances though, that one escapes me. I look at the structure and I'm like, yeah, sometimes I think I get pigeonholed on it. I'm like, if there's anything or tunnel visioned on it, I'm like, this imbalance has to fill. If this imbalance doesn't fill, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Like I think I get tunnel visioned on it, so I try to not. But that's fine. If it sticks with you, I know, then that's all that matters.
It's not necessarily about the imbalance filling. It's about getting filled before the real move happens.
But but if you look at the move
I
that you're
see
like
what you
just explained
mean.
to me, like, is this the move for more downward side?
Well, it
Because it
can
gets kind
fake
of
you out,
confusing
but
though.
the thing that you want to pay attention to, so you look for combos like this, right? One small
Yeah.
candle, one huge candle. And you pay attention. What I usually do is I'll mark off the whole body and the wick. I'll put a zone on the 30-minute and the 15-minute. The 5-minute, I'm just paying attention. But if you take a look, wherever this wick is, I can't really zoom in.
Mm,
Usually, this candle right here will tell you what price action is going to do over here.
right.
Because what happens is price action will come and hit the top of this wick right here and then bounce and then come back and hit the body of this overlap.
Right.
And then it's either going to recover, bounce, and continue
Or
up this way, or if it breaks it, then it's going to dump down. Because look at, if you pay attention from what I've done my research, here's where the battle started, right?
yeah.
Because of the body. But then the buyers accepted this price and smoked them.
Well, if you look to the left, that's the same imbalance that they're fighting for, right?
Hold on.
Man, it's all good, bro. You don't have to like. I was just asking a question because I'm here, but I know you already been here for a while. It's all good.
No. You guys, because see right here, this imbalance, it feels it,
No,
and
no,
then
no, not that one. I'm talking about the one on the left, that big green candle that shot up, more left,
Uh, this
where
one,
his entries are or his exits are. Yeah, that
this
one, that
one
one.
here. Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah,
I
that,
am
that.
yeah,
this imbalance.
yeah.
So they
See,
came
so
back
it
to
hit
attack
it
it,
hit
right?
that imbalance, and then it popped up. So now,
Right.
so here it was this imbalance, right? Look at where the bodies are, right where the overlap is,
Yeah.
right here. Right, it wicked all the way down, so you got to pay attention to the whole candle. But look where the body's closed. If the body's closed above this zone right here that I would have had, then I'm taking
Um,
that long. Sometimes I enter when it first tags the top, and
what would
I'll
have been your
add that
stop
here.
loss though? Stop
Huh?
loss though. What would have been
Yeah,
your stop
the
loss?
stop loss would be right here. Me, I use a hard open close. See,
Uh,
because like I said, like I'll enter here, maybe add here, depending on the speed, because the speed of the candles is what helps you determine if it's gonna go all the way to this level and you're able to add. Because if it comes down too fast, but then that's what you want, right? You want to see the sweep.
yeah, you want it
You
to
want
come
to see
down.
the sweep of this.
Yeah,
You want to see the sweep. So sometimes what I'll do, I'll have that zoned out. I'll have this zoned out. So I have a fat zone, right?
yeah,
And I'll wait for it to come all the way down. And if I see the sweep meaning it comes down and it immediately creates a wick. The price action gets sucked right up, whether it's a fresh low or it hit a daily level or it hit a fib level, whatever it is. That's what I look for, and then I'll start getting in on the way up, right here
Yep. Yep.
on the
but you're
zone
looking
up.
for the wick though, right? You're looking for the buy up more or less
Yeah,
from
Yes.
that level
exactly,
of it. Yeah,
exactly. If I don't see that buy up and the body's closed down here, then I won't enter
yeah, you're
and I'll
fucked
stop out.
already. Yeah,
And
But see
everything
how it
he's
feels. See how it feels. There's an imbalance right here, right? There's an imbalance right here. Look at what happens. It goes, feels it, feels that imbalance.
and let me ask you a question, Semper. How much do you trade? You trade with some pretty big accounts. How much drawdown would you say is you
oh, I
got?
like that question.
300 with 3 contracts, $500.
I mean
But
total
like
account
percentage, like how many
drawdown,
ticks?
like total
Like,
account
yeah,
drawdown. And I don't know, you could be trading with prop accounts, you could be trading cash, you could be trading multiple props. Like are how many what percentage of your account? Because you trade with how many contracts?
the
I
two or three.
sometimes enter with one, but most of the time, I'm ending with 3 contracts, full size.
There's like three contracts. And what
Yeah,
percent, like if you take like a nasty fat loss, what percentage of your account is that probably gonna cost?
probably 1%.
Like 1%.
Yep.
Yeah.
But how
So
big is the
that
account though?
equates to well, that equates to it doesn't even I mean that could be I mean 1%, $1,000, he could be a hundred
Because
thousand dollar drawdown, you
yeah,
could
I'd be
say.
taking a $1,400 loss max
Damn.
on one trade.
Okay. So if you're
That's with
trading
cash account. With a prop account, I traded differently.
yeah, and I was trying to not get into like what kind of accounting cat, but the thing is like if you he can trade so calm and clear and just do the hard open close and pay attention because he does not give a shit. Like so, if you're trading on a prop, and I would ask the contracts because he's trading three accounts. If you're trading on a prop and you trade three micros you really should not give a shit because then if you're down 50 points on three micros, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's $300, right? But you can do that 10 times before that shitty prop account is blown. So that's
Yep.
the reason I ask.
No,
But
and
doesn't
what
that
you
like
want to do is calibrate your entries the same
exactly?
plays
That's what I was gonna
on
say.
micros.
Doesn't,
Exactly.
doesn't
So
that fuck up the mentality? Like, yeah, you
no,
could take a bigger loss or a stop loss, but your entries and exits are like the main priorities, right? I would think.
it is,
Yes.
and that's why the stop
Yes.
loss is still 20 points or whatever. but you can take that way more on micros, right? So if you're taking it on minis, then it would be 10 times that.
Yeah,
Instead of being negative 300, it'd be negative 3,000.
yeah. And it's not about having a bigger stop. It's about not caring. It's about you don't care so you can do what's right, so you can train your mind
And your
because
gut
if
algo.
yeah, because if you're making emotional decisions, you'll never know what decisions are the right decisions, and your gut will never get trained. Because right now, when newbie traders listen to their gut, they lose all the time because their gut is wrong. So you need to get to a point where you hit that pivot with your gut, where you can actually trust your gut. And the only way you're going to do that is if you take the emotions out. So you have
And
to really not care.
and that's why I stress you starting off with sim. That's why I used to start off all you guys with sim. So
Yeah.
you guys don't have that emotional connection.
Uh-huh.
And then you would just take the trade naturally how it should perform.
Yeah. Because
And
I
unfortunately with micros, that's the only way to do it is to reduce the size to two and not over leverage yourself.
it cost me tens of thousands of dollars to eventually not care about the money I was trading. And that's
Exactly.
so
I will say
And
like that does like help the mental state of taking a trade because if you're taking a trade and you're like worried about how like where the endpoint is, you might like be looking ahead of the endpoint before it even happens. So that might negatively affect you. And
yep,
that's happened to me a couple times. But yeah,
100%.
I understand what you're saying.
100%. You have
But at
to
the
be
same
able
time,
to
you have
trust your
to.
judgment.
I would think that you would know like in your head like, hey, I can only tolerate this amount of loss because that's what keeps you alive, right? Because if you're like, no, I think I know what I'm talking about, and then if it doesn't go your way, you're gonna get fucked.
no, but
And then
that's where newbies get fucked is you're gonna say like, okay, I'm red, but it can bounce. You're gonna start to make up excuses on where it can bounce. Oh, it can bounce right here, and then it can bounce over here. No, it's gonna reverse right here.
It
Going
can't
right.
keep going, bro.
You can't.
not for
So
me.
you gotta
That's the
be able to
classic
take the
term.
proper trade, and that's why we need to laser in your entries first, because then your stops are negligible. You know, you probably never even worry about stops, but then you're gonna get that euphoria, and then you're gonna not care about your stop loss, and you're gonna fucking blow your account, even though
Yes.
you've been green for the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever. And that's what you don't want to get to. You want to try to cut out any bad habits if you have any, and just trade like a fucking robot. I got these rules. I got these strategies and these confluences and these rules and these patterns and this price action, and you're gonna start to build that gut algo. Unless you're restricting yourself because you want to try to pass your prop firm in 2 days or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, right.
You don't want
Outside
that.
goals,
You
external motives.
That's being greedy. That's not being consistent. You don't want to shoot 2 home runs because you might blow up your account on the first day. And I've seen it done. I've done it myself. Where you're like, yeah, I just passed it in 2 days. I'm gonna get a payout, and then next thing you know, boom, blow it up. Like, but that's why you got to be boring and consistent and create a system. Have your targets, and if the daily goal works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, but the reason why I have a daily goal is to give you a baseline so you can scale up. Because I
Yeah.
used to scale up, and like I told Toad, like if you have 15 out of 20 green trades, scale up. Don't be afraid to. If you have a cash account on a prop firm, it's a different emotions to scale up. Because some prop firms like Top Step, you have to have $1,500 in your balance on your funded balance before you can trade 3 contracts. You got to have 25 before you can trade 4. You got to have 35 before you can trade 5.
Yeah.
So it's kind of different, but it's still good, right? That's kind of like the method that I said, but instead of with balances, I go with percentage of the week. If you're 75 to 85% green on the week, And I
Mm.
usually used to do 2 weeks. So if I was 15 or 17 or whatever above green trades out of 20, because I would limit myself to 25 trades. So I would
Dang.
want to be 20, right? Um, and then I would scale up. Okay, cool. I'm ready. I already have that buffer because I wouldn't withdraw because I would build up my $600 account to 12 to 2000, and then I would scale up.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily like the consistency, or actually, it is the
It
consistency.
is,
It's
yeah.
not like the amount that you're making. So if you just scalp 20, 20, 20, 20, and you are like consistently making $20 every trade, does that make like the trade itself or the mentality of the trade good?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you were right. You wanted the trade. And the best feeling is when the trade goes in your favor, like instantly.
Yeah.
Because that's when you know you were 100% right to get it. Right? There's a trade where it goes a little bit of drawdown and then it goes your favor. And then there's the ones that you got to hold for 15, 20 minutes before it goes in your favor.
Which means you did something wrong, like
Early entry or
early entry.
Yeah.
uh, so, and then your brain is going to start to pick up all these little characteristics of how the candle hit your level. You're going to pay more attention to it. And that's why I was telling Liga, like, hey, put 2 lines of potential entry, wait for price action to hit your first one, and then either decide to get in instantly or wait for the second level to get hit. And the second level will always be your best price, but that'll be the least,
Hmm.
the level that'll get least hit. And you'll be like, oh, my system doesn't work, but it does. You just got to be more patient. And
Yeah. Because
if you listen to these little imbalances, see how it filled this imbalance, and then it made a decision, right? But then it made this imbalance, so then it filled that, and then we had this imbalance, and then it filled that one, and then we had this imbalance, and then it filled it, right? And we broke structure. We broke structure right there.
and then we feel the imbalance on the right side up to those two red big
Yeah, but
candles,
You
right?
know,
see how
uh,
it broke structure right here? We
you
filled
know,
that imbalance, and then it made a decision to
I really
continue.
want to say though, I really do think the imbalances are a more advanced topic, and I just gotta point
Yep,
that like
yep, yep.
definitely more advanced, and if you can still do structure, that's all.
Yeah, it almost seems like kind of like
Just they're tough.
easy
I
to
still
think
don't get
like
them. I still don't get them.
you just look for big candles up or big candles down and you look to fill those candles. I thought that's what
Yeah,
ITC was, but
Yeah,
that
the
like
ICT does, but they do fair value gaps. They'll have like a gap from,
yeah, it's like fair value and order blocks and stuff like that.
yeah, they'll do one from like here to here,
Yeah,
right?
it's just the whole idea of imbalance is like if I'm gonna take an imbalance, I pretty much only want the imbalance to like be in my favor because I'm like trend trading. So I'm like I don't like taking reversals. Like you can tell, like it just makes me fucking scared. You know what I mean? Like I just don't really want to be taking a reversal, bro. Like,
Well,
but
especially
yeah,
right here, right? It filled this imbalance right here, and then you see this fat green candle,
yeah,
and you
thinking
be
that it
like,
was gonna
I
go.
don't think I'm gonna get in short right there
yeah,
because we
Why wouldn't you
still,
though? See, I'm glad you said that. Why wouldn't you? Because all the dojis like piling
you
up is
can,
showing that's like downside movement to
you
me, at least when I
can,
see
but
it.
you can, but what you got to see, and this is something that helps a lot with that type of strategy, is the slowness. See how it slowed down right here? When it hit this imbalance, it slowed down,
yeah,
right? So I would have marked off this doji right there,
Yeah,
wait for that to break and get in. My second level would be this level, right? Because I would have that zone.
right.
So
I
I'd
got
have
cooked
that
on that
doji.
second level. The two dojis below the three or four clusters.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought we were gonna keep going up, and then I got cooked on that lower. low.
Okay, but look at this is how you read that one, right? Because in the instance of this play
Yeah.
where it broke this doji, it created a small
Yeah, no.
imbalance. So
So
you should have waited for it to come back, retest it, and then get in.
I saw in the 30 minute it had a doji like candle and it kept respecting the doji on the 30-minute level, but on the 5-minute level, like it looked like it wanted to hold the level, and then that's where I got fucked.
It
And
also
trying to hold that
didn't
level.
it didn't break structure. If you were gonna go long, and this is what I'm always preaching my brains out in the chat about, bro, is like if you're gonna go long, it's like going long here is hoping that you catch a squeeze, right? Is hoping that you catch a squeeze because what it should do is if you don't have any of this, what it should do is this is a lower high, it should break this and then back test, and your entry's here.
Because
So
the bottom's making a lower
Exactly.
high, right?
Exactly.
Or a higher low.
the bottom is
Yep.
making a
Yep.
higher low. Yes,
That's what
exactly,
I was
right.
thinking. I was like, all right.
Right, but getting in here, what's the hope?
Yeah.
All right, so if you get in here, the hope is that
Yeah.
what we hold this candle and then maybe we do that. That's for sure possible, bro. Like I don't think this is a terrible trade. Like just to make you feel, I don't think getting in here to go long is a terrible trade. It's a W. I mean, it's not awful, but it is
It
hopeful.
it's it,
It's
it you're
hopeful.
but look at if you look to the left, it's in the middle of the range.
Yeah, it's hopeful. It's
It's in
hopeful.
the middle of this range.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in the middle there, right? If you do get in the middle, you
Oh,
want it
that
to
makes
come back
sense.
and
Yeah.
test and then go up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's
I agree
hopeful
with that.
because you did not actually break this lower high. That's the most important part, in my opinion.
Yep.
This is a very well-defined lower high, and you did not actually break it. That page didn't happen.
And
So
if you look at the
if
charts, like the dojis are telling you it's not working. It's like all
But
this
where
red.
where
uh
you should have got in
yeah,
would be
true.
right here because of this imbalance that it had, right? But it hit your zone, come back, and this would have been your entry
Yeah.
to fill this imbalance. That's the way I trade because I'm like super. I mean, this is 5 minute chart, right? Because I use the 5 minute chart, so
Yeah,
I'm going
this
to
is
trade
fun.
for 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's it. Like maybe even less sometimes, depending on how fast it squeezes.
Yeah.
But as we like right here, see, this was a little bit faster. That's a faster trade, right? And then right here, it slows down
Yeah.
because look at this
Yeah.
area right here. There's an imbalance here and an imbalance there. And both times the sellers won down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in order for this to go long, both of these needed to be taken out.
Yeah, both of them. Yep.
And when you're saying taking out, you're saying like just making a higher high than that
Yeah,
Just
like
just
right
needs to
here.
break it, bro.
Just
I mean,
break it and come back down and then go.
and retest it, right?
l
Would be the ideal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
like look over here, bro. Like
And
this is a micro lower high, right? It's like what do? We barely break that high, but it needs to break, right? And then it makes a higher low and goes. But it needs to break. It's like that's the most important. So ultimately, this did not break. It didn't even penny break. It didn't even scam. It just didn't break. But if it broke,
Yep.
like if this wick went here, you could have gotten in here.
It would have been a better validation trade
But
if it would have broke.
it
I would have
didn't.
told you like, oh, that's I would have told you that's a good trade. It just didn't work out. Right here, you don't really have much, especially with the moving averages. They're slope steep down too.
yeah.
Right, the moving averages you want them to. If you're gonna get in long towards the bottom of price action, you want the moving averages to look like kind of like
Yeah.
this.
Sideways or whatever.
Yeah, or up.
See, I was looking for a scalp. I just got kind of cooked on that fucking all those dojis. I just already knew it was like kind of over, but I thought like one more push. The
And,
first 1 or 2 minutes, we'll get the
Yeah,
upside, and I'll close it. But then I kept holding after the push up for the 1 or 2 minutes, and then yeah, I got fucked on the last 2 or 3 minutes down.
yeah.
and you did have a valid point because you had an imbalance here and then an imbalance here, but these two were held. Were they were respected.
Yeah.
But
So
you don't think that the doji's like at the 12:30 mark, like they're holding kind of. That was my entry.
where right here?
Like if you look at the thing, it's 12:30. Like those three candles that are like dojis before it drops below. Look at the thing. It says 12:30 on the 5 minute, like on the chart that's in front. Yeah, yeah. So like one, that's one, and then to the left is two, and then three is on the left side. So one, left is
This one?
two, left is three. No, no, no. We're right where the what? Just go over to the left.
Right
Yeah,
here?
yeah. Right where the little squiggle line is at.
Yeah.
Like it's holding, but obviously we fell below it.
Right. I mean, if you really want to keep it simple for real, you can really just freaking, in my opinion, you could probably really just sell or buy into the damn retrace of a strong candle and then just use the open close. And that would be a high win rate, low RR strategy. Because if you really look at it, like, look at this green is strong, and this is like
It's
no
not low. Well, it is low RR, but it's high rewards
or
because
high.
you're taking three contracts, and from here to here on NQ, that's 20, 30 points, 40 points,
Yeah, yeah. So say
and it's
you,
quick. Like it's
Yeah, it's
fucking.
probably like 2 or 3 minutes. Five in the 5 minutes,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
if you're
exactly.
lucky.
you know. Yeah, for real. It's just looking at these strong candles because I know Semper. I noticed it in your trades. You know what I mean? If a strong candle comes in, like this red candle, Semper's putting an order at the 50. I feel like that's usually the case, or like somewhere around there. So it's like you just gotta trust those strong candles to trust it. That's why it's like, oh, where did you get it? So I don't know. It's like, don't be afraid to wait for the freaking retracement. I don't know. I'm just ranting. I'm a few beers deep.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no. You're
stop.
you're good, bro. And then it pissed me off too
Well,
because
when
I,
I
I kept
lose
thinking
my
about
train of thought. But anyway, yeah.
I it pissed me off because I kept thinking about how Toad kept saying like trend is your friend, trend is your friend, and I think that I'm a counter trend trader, and I kept getting fucked. So I was like, but there is some green side. Like if you kind of wait, or if you're patient enough, you can catch the upside. I'm not looking for like a big long. I'm looking for like scalping. Uh,
And then look
that
for
trend
those
is your friend is where
imbalances.
I'm
They're
getting
gonna
fucked.
help you.
So
They're gonna help you.
it's funny because I see a lot of your trades, Mark, are I think you're fucking I think yeah, I could tell your voice is are excelling at the freaking close or the low of a candle. So it's
Yeah, I
like
like
it's
to get.
funny. Right, see, but it's like, are you counter trending? I wonder. I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't seen enough of your trades. I mean, it's just counter trending, man. Counter trending's hard, in my
I
opinion.
know. I mean, all right, not to be like dick riding or anything, but doesn't Brandon counter trend? Isn't that his whole
Yeah, yeah, but
like
and that's
thing?
why I'm glad I'm here. That's why I'm glad I'm here right now because
He's
Semper
like,
has
I
seven
don't do
years of
that.
experience and Brandon has 10 years of experience. All right,
No, he has 15.
he's got
Damn.
15. He's been trading longer than I've been alive. Not really, obviously.
What the hell?
I'm 12. I'm 12, and what is this? So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And they'll buy the freaking low and ride that up, and it's like,
Because we're doing what we use for that method is the first tag metric. The
yeah,
first time of a zone or a level getting hit.
and it's
We're
so
looking for
good.
that instinct like 10. Like we're in with two or three contracts. We lock in at 10 and we lock in at 20. Or 15 points quick. As soon as it hits
That's
15, we put
what
our
I was
break
trying to
even
do.
and we're locking in the trade green no
Yeah,
matter what.
Yeah.
and that's if you want to do that, bug. That's fine. but it's hard, man. Like
It is hard. I'm
I'm
getting
not.
fucked left and right.
I think what I do is easier.
It's
I
like,
think
let
what
me
I do
sell
is
you my
easier.
course.
No, I'm not selling
No, no, I know, just
anything.
fucking with you.
I
I'm
was
just
just
fucking with
saying,
you.
like, so it's like that's why I'm really glad I'm here as another opinion because, um, I just think that stuff's hard. I just think that's really hard, and maybe I don't know what it is, but I really think just riding the trend can be a lot easier. But whatever resonates with you, you know what I mean? Like Semper always says, we're not prescribing a strategy. Whatever resonates with you, yada yada, and feels good. It feels right.
I will say that you're not wrong, and it's kind of annoying because
I
I'm
can't be
like,
wrong because my
no,
P&L, you know what I mean? When people trade and people say they're right and wrong in strategy and this and that, all that matters is are you making money? So it's like
that's
I
what I'm.
don't, yeah,
I mean,
boys.
if you're making the money, I showed you my thing. I haven't seen your thing, but I've seen your trades and they look pretty good. So I can only hope to believe that your representation of how you explain to us is what it is for you. And
That's
I believe
fair.
it is because I don't think that you would lie. Like, or it doesn't even matter. Anyways, but I'm saying like it gets on my nerves that you always say like follow trend, and I am trying to counter trend it, and I get fucked. But sometimes I win, but more often than none, I do take a loss more than I would like to.
It's because counter trend is more advanced. Because
Yeah,
not until you have that gut algo, that gut instinct, like lasered in, where you can say like, "This is gonna hit my level and it's gonna go up." I wouldn't counter trend because you're just gonna. It's like catching a knife, right? You're either gonna fucking catch it 1,000 times and be right once,
yeah.
or build up that algo and then be able to catch them really good. I mean, not catch them, I guess. The opposite.
Yeah, know when they're to be caught. You're like Sepper and Brandon are like samurai grabbing the blade out of the midair. They're like clapping
But
their
see, that's
hands
what
on
keeps the
the
hope
blade.
alive though, because it's like if they can do it, why can't I do it? If I
Why
just
Mine
even
follow
just
what they're
bother?
saying, I can
Why
do it as
even
well.
why even bother?
like I'm
Because it's
telling you, just
proven. It's proven. They're doing it. I
Yeah,
can
but
see it
it
with my
is
own eyes. They're
proven.
doing it.
It is proven, but
it's so
it's
hard.
watching that candle develop. Like knowing that okay, I can get in here at the full body red that is gonna wick up 50% back up.
That's all I need, baby. Little scalpy scalp. I'm in the green.
Then you know what you should do, bro, is that's actually a great prop firms are great for every trader, frankly, if you just simply know how to trade. What you should do is maybe get two cheap accounts or make two sim accounts if you're not making any consistency yet and just rotate them because your strategy has a high win percent, low risk reward, right? So you should win, but sometimes you'll hit a big fat loss and you don't want to feel it. Like Semper risks 1% of his account. So actually what I do now is I risk 1, 2, 3% of my props. So I've got five and they've got, let's say 3,000 drawdown. That's 15,000 drawdown. So I can risk 150 per trade. Now I risk a little more because I'm a little crazy. I'll risk 3 or 5%. So I risk 250, 300 per trade, and I just rotate them. And I'm just taking 10 micros for 10 points. And I don't care if I lose 4 or 5 in a row. I don't care because I'm just rotating the accounts and I'll probably win 2 or 3 or 4 in a row. So it's like, point is, if you care too much, if you're feeling emotional about it and you're saying you're getting fucked and you're getting annoyed, um, maybe decrease leverage or think about why. Honestly, I think the path to successful trading is like the path to freaking enlightenment. Like you have to know what gets you mad and what gets you triggered and what changes your judgment, what compromises your judgment, what gets you upset. So, I mean, hopefully that stuff helps. I think you just have to not care because you can't learn when you're mad. It's
Yeah,
impossible.
definitely.
It's impossible.
I
Yep.
agree. I definitely agree. I think like the less you like what's kind of like counterproductive for the goal that you're trying to set for yourself, but the less you care, the more profitable you might be. Because if you just set like, okay, here's the target, here's the loss, and then you just let it go, but when you're like actively engaged in the trade, it dictates the trade itself. When
Yep.
you're like open-minded and like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I'm gonna follow, but the more you're like activated in the trade, you're like, oh no, I should have done this. Like, oh, I'm too ahead, no, I'm too low, and like, and then you get
Yep.
fucked. Yeah,
Although ideally, you're so clear-minded that you can be. So I know what you're saying is that you set the trade because you're clear-minded before you get in the trade. You set the trade, you're clear-minded, you know that what you set is right. You know that you can trust your judgment. But then when you're in the trade, then your trust in your judgment starts to dwindle, right? So then ideally the goal is you get enough experience and you don't care so much that then you can be in the trade, watching in the moment, second to second, like Semper is saying, watching the action, watching it hit the wick, watching how the candles react, and you still don't care. So that's why I trade trend is because it's easy for me to care. I'll get upset. I'll get annoyed. So it's like I can know that I can just I can kind of dial back and I can be like, all right, so what's my 15-minute trend? What's my 5-minute trend? I don't have to be in that 1 minute, 5 minute wick. So it's like you're saying, you have to not care and it's easy to set and forget. But the goal is that when you're in the moment and the price is moving fast, you still cannot care. You still can activate. You still cannot give a fuck. So
makes sense. It is tough though. That's all psychology type shit. But
it's hard as fuck. And I still
definitely,
struggle, bro. Like I still lose weeks. I still have lost a week of progress in one day, like recently. So I mean,
I feel you. That's what I was gonna
yeah.
say. Like all those little scalps for like that mentality of the counter trend trading, but once it counters your counter, you're getting fucked like the long way.
The
So,
law.
I'm being serious. Like, yeah, you're trying to make 20, $40, but then when it goes against you, you're getting fucked like 80, 100, depends on your stop loss, but
All day.
you're definitely getting fucked.
Yeah, definitely. That's why sometimes I'll try to switch my mentality around and I'll be like, all right, if all right, like I'm annoyed right now and I want to go long, so you know what? I'm just gonna go short and watch it go in my favor and just keep going and going. And that's just that can mess you up though, like trying to reverse psychology yourself. Because the goal is to you gotta trust your judgment.
No,
He's like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about.
you can't train to trick yourself because then you're gonna out trick yourself and lose a lot more
Literally, bro.
money.
Literally, bro.
Yeah.
And I've done that. I've done that, bro. It's like a whole
But I think
dimension.
we've all done that shit, especially
Yeah,
the
For
ones that
sure.
are not giving up and gone through it all. Because I think everybody goes through it.
yeah,
Our goal is to prevent new traders from going through it, but I think that's just the rite of passage, right? You have to be tested to be able to prove that you want this shit. Because when you first start out, and I've seen new traders be like, "Oh shit, I just hit $500 on my first trade." Okay, cool. Can you consistently do that though?
Damn.
Next
yeah,
day, blow up an account. Oh, obviously you got some skeletons in your closet because not until you reveal all your skeletons, you're not gonna be able to trade like a robot. This is
yeah,
gonna test you emotionally, physically, mentally. It's a freaking like going through boot camp, honestly.
yeah. It's just less physical.
Yep, it's just more mental. This is like straight mental.
Yeah.
If you were abused as a kid, it's probably gonna come out. You know,
I
you're
mean,
gonna
no, it
get
really
angry.
will. No, it really will. Like it really will. It really will be like
You know what?
you'll lose a trade, you'll be punching the wall and you'll be like, fuck you, like it's fucking
Yeah.
dad.
And
Like
if
you
you're
like what
You're
spoiled,
not my dad.
if you're spoiled, you're gonna lose big. It's just
yeah, you could be like, it needs to go my way.
yep.
It does what I want, but
And
it
when it
doesn't.
doesn't, because you gotta throw out all that normal psychology that we went through or that we grew up with
Yeah.
and flip that shit. You gotta
Yeah.
completely flip it because this is not normal thinking. You gotta
Nope.
outsmart the market makers, and it's tough.
And they're trying to That's why a lot of people think that they hunt your stops and there's like algo stuff is because most
Bro.
humans fall to the same level of emotion. So, and that's exactly what the market is hunting is your emotion. And most humans, when they're emotional, they do the same thing, herd mentality. It's like you gotta, yeah, you gotta stay on top and you gotta see how they're trying to screw you. I should probably, I can toss co-host, but I should probably head over to bed here. I know Ligam's
Yeah,
probably
for
like,
sure.
"Damn, bro, I'm trying to be polite here. You know, they're messing with me,
I'm
bro.
Yeah, good.
But
You
just
it's
stopped the
listening.
too,
I'm
recording a
just
long time
listening.
ago. Hey, did you stop the recording? You're probably gonna have to chop this one.
yeah, I'm gonna have to
Hey,
chop
before you
this one
chop
for
it, send
sure.
it to me, man, because I feel like there's a lot of little nuggets in there that I probably could use myself. Since I was
Yeah,
asking a couple questions towards the end.
yeah, yeah. I will
If
do
you don't
that.
mind, if not, it's all good, bro.
No,
I'll
no
catch you on the
problem.
next
I
one.
just gotta see how. I mean, honestly, I don't even care. I'll upload 2 videos. I mean, it's whatever. I don't have Fortunately, I
It's all
got
good.
I got my work computer and I got my. So yeah, that sounds good because this one's a good one. I'm gonna stop this recording now. Well,
See you
if I
guys. Have a
upload
good
Yeah,
one.
this one, thanks everyone.
yeah.